Oh, you got to see the misty penis on my window then. Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today you are getting to join me on my journey home because I might have forgotten to make a video and this is the only bit of spare time that I have before I am doing work again tomorrow. I'm going home now. I'm going to make tea for people if they want it. Hopefully they won't. And once that is made, well, we are now in traffic. Let's straighten you up a bit. Ah, there we go. You're now just upside down a bit. Lopsided, that's the word I'm looking for. I probably won't be looking at the camera much, but when do I ever? I am observing the road in front. I am currently locked in my car. It's dark. We're on the way home. How has work been today? Well, quite honestly, the day did not start off well. I was not happy and I had a few choice words with head office, but I won't go into that here simply because I think that I am bigger than that and that I have more tact and more decorum and more kindness to not allow one argument to affect over a decade's work with people. And that's all I'm going to say on that. But know then that definitely affected my work day. No matter how much I tried to not allow that to happen, I ended up spending the day rather stressed out, and it was something that didn't even involve me really. Right, we're going to be stopping for a second because this is a tricky roundabout, but we did it. Not the biggest fan of that roundabout, I have to admit. It's the reason I always go a different way into work. Sorry for the shakiness, hopefully that steadies down a bit and there won't be so many bumps on the way home. We're going this way because I've heard that there are temporary traffic lights further down because they're doing something with the gas, and I am not about that life. I'm already going to be stuck in a lot of traffic, and so it doesn't seem like the best thing that I could do to choose to go and get stuck in traffic. Anyway, we don't need to talk about that. We're not talking about work. I don't know what we're going to talk about really. Strangely enough, after cozy reading night last night, I have ended up thinking a lot about Theft of Swords, having read that now, and well, I've not read the book, but having read the portion of the book that I did, avoid the runner, avoid the runner, avoid the runner, having now read the portion I did and reaching the point where they're about to get framed for murder, I am now more inclined to continue reading that one, and I have to say it is that thriller style mystery aspect that I do like. However, there's also the issue that I'm not enjoying the way the story is being told, and it is a classical tale of fantasy. I mean, enough people enjoy it, and I am reading this on recommendation, and I know that first books in series notably end up doing, you know, the series is better as it goes on, and you can't judge anything by the first book, unless it's Robin Hobb's, what's her series called? Farseer trilogy. The Farseer trilogy, we're now in darkness completely, but the Farseer trilogy with that first book is simply fantastic, and I recommend that to you all the time. It's not as good as the Live Ship Traders trilogy, but it's a great start, and that first book entices you enough, and the writing is literary, and maybe that's what my problem is. Maybe my problem is that I've read such a good book with the Robin Hobb series that I need major flaming work. If you're writing a fantasy novel now after reading that, it's really changed the way I think about fantasy and consider fantasy. So I suppose my own preconceptions are really changing the way I judge that book, because if you've had something better, then that's the standard that you're always going to aim for when reading. But at the same time, a person, a reviewer or a reader, should we continue down that line? Should we continue to judge things based on what we've read before, or should we judge things how they are on their individual merit? We are now slowing down because there is a cyclist, and this cyclist is on a turn. And we are slowing down because there are people there. I am having to wait for the cyclist, try not to get hit by another car. We did okay. I'm aware we're in complete darkness now, so parts of this are going to be a great video and parts of it are just going to be like a podcast, and I am fine with that. I hope you're fine with that as well. So I've been considering going home and reading Theft of Swords, but I also only have just over an hour of soul music left, and I have been yammering about that book for the entirety of December now, and I think that maybe now is the time to finish it. I don't have long before it reaches the point that I can't listen to Hogfather at Christmas, which is something that I want to do. I want to have that experience, so we'll see. We're being overtaken. We don't really tend to use this road to overtake, so it's strange that somebody might try that. It wasn't the most successful day at work, really. Just as I say, started off with that bit of a bad do in terms of the argument. Well, it wasn't even an argument, creative discussion, can't even call it that. It was me and another staff member, another person way above me, arguing over something, and in the end I just said, we're never going to agree about this, so I just don't want to talk about it any longer. And that's the way things ended, and that's the kind of thing that always frustrates me in an argument, when I've accepted what the other person said in their opinion, but they're maybe not accepting of my thoughts either and saying they don't understand me, and I can't help but feel like somebody is choosing not to understand me because it's easier. But then sales were down as well today, and that doesn't put you in a good mood, and then whilst we have had some good donations today, they've slowed down as well, but it has meant that we've had more time to chat to our regulars about Christmas and what they're doing over the festive period, and I think that that matters a lot as well, and a lot can be said for that. So I don't know. I'm in tomorrow, and then I'm off Sunday in Monday, and then I'm off for a week, and I am looking forward to that week, but I also feel as though it may have been tarnished a tiny bit by what has gone on today, but maybe I could also use that to forget about what happened and go into the new year just forgetting about everything that has gone on today. I don't know how to explain it. It's probably a bit small and petty, and there's no point talking about it here because I'm not going to share what actually went on. So being vague, all it does is highlight my emotions and how I'm feeling, and I'm not sharing the other person's opinions and their thoughts and where they're coming from, and know that I do understand where they're coming from. Yeah. So I think that I'm going home. My sister's ill, my father's ill, so both volunteers that came in today had colds, so if I don't come down with something, I will be lucky. I considered going and having a flu jab today, but it was raining and I know that everywhere's busy at the moment, and it felt I didn't want to add any more pressure to anybody by going and getting a flu jab. And then I end up thinking, well, what about the risk of me getting flu? Because obviously last time I was ill earlier this year, I ended up rather poorly from it all, and you know, what should probably have not lasted that long lasted a very long time because of my asthma, and everything compounded really to make me worse than I should have been. 10 minutes into the journey and we're here. I never think about it in terms of this, because this is always the faster part of the journey. It's when I get stuck in traffic in a moment that I will be bemoaning everything. Although I did hope that with the schools being off, it would be easier for me to get home. There have been a lot of last minute shoppers today, I have heard, and because of these last minute shoppers, everywhere has been ram-jammed full of people, and it has been c'est difficile, and we can get around this roundabout. I think that that's the first time I've ever been able to follow anyone round that roundabout, so that's fun. The one day it's pouring down with rain, it's incredibly dark, and I can't show you what my journey to work is usually like. On a fine day, I would be overtaking the two vehicles that are in front of me right now, but it's not a fine day. It's dark, it's a bit misty with the rain, and so I am quite happy to cruise along this very wet road at 50 as opposed to get my speed up and maybe drift a bit, because I am not about that life. I hope you can hear me. I'm now shouting a bit, projecting my voice in the hopes that you can, because I'm aware my car is sounding very loud. And there we have the ambulance, is it? Ambulance or police car? And it is an ambulance. Always good to see an ambulance going by, flashing its little blue lights. Slowing down, we're coming to our next roundabout. Which number roundabout is this? Number 3? I think it's number 3. Which means we have one more roundabout after this, and then we're not on the straight and narrow because, well, we are, but oh yeah, thank you for that. That was really not a good time to join the roundabout. I was right next to you. Sorry, I have been actually dampening down my road rage a bit for this journey, just because I'm aware you're here with me today. I went out for a coffee with Joy from the writers group yesterday, and we were discussing my lack of reading and lack of writing, and she said she hadn't written either, and she doesn't understand why, because she's enjoying what she writes. And I have to say I can understand that, because I am loving writing the final Doris book. Someone who I work with at Macclesfield came to say hi in the shop today, and she has been supportive of my career all along. I've known her since I was a teenager, and she has bought and read all the Dorises, and each time she's surprised that there's another one because I think each one has a definitive end and each one can be read on its own. And so she was surprised to hear that there's going to be another book, and then was also surprised to hear, well, no, she was surprised by the last book, and she said that I was getting soppy. And yes, Doris Ahoy is an incredibly soppy book. I don't deny that. I went into that knowing it was a soppy book. I wanted a sentimental soppy read, and so I did that. Arrigi Bianchi, I've got a sale on. Oh no, sale starts soon. We're now in the lights in traffic, and I'm aware if anyone's in another car they can see that I'm recording, but I'm fine with that. So yeah, the sale at Arrigi Bianchi starts soon. Don't be beeping me, we're not going anywhere. There's nowhere we can go. We're stuck here. So anyway, writing, yeah, so Doris Ahoy, very sentimental, and she was saying that, and I said, well, don't worry, the next book isn't sentimental. And she said there's going to be a final book, and I said yes. Well, no, I told her then that this is the next book is the final Doris book, and it's not a sentimental read at all. There will definitely be sentimental moments because I think that I always put poignant sentimental moments in my books, but this one was about Harold and Doris, and I wanted to show to people why Harold and Doris have stuck together all these years. And so I was happy with that comment because I feel like that says I've achieved what I set out to do. But with this next book that's coming out, it's definitely a final end, and there is a bit more vitriol to it. Doris does end up going back to her old ways a bit, but it's using her acerbic-ness and her acidity and her knowledge of social norms and ideals that is going to be used for good, as opposed to being offensive to people and ultimately making enemies of everyone. These roads are like rivers. I forgot the schools were out, so we've actually managed to get through quite a bit earlier than we usually would. And we're stopping again. So, going back to talking to Joy, I'm not sure why I'm not writing, because I should be writing. There's nothing to prevent me from doing so. But I think VLOGMAS has got in the way of my writing this year, because it's been a lot of planning and a lot of editing and a lot of work, and I have really enjoyed VLOGMAS this year, and I've recorded when I've been able to record, like now, but I've also not felt like writing. I take my notebook everywhere with me still, and I think about stories, but that isn't writing, and I'm aware that I wanted to bring this book out this year. She also got to talking, not this year, in 2020, and she also got to talking about an Heir to Murder and the launch of that book, and now we are behind a bus. And whilst I really do still want to release Royally Doris next year, I also haven't planned anything for an Heir to Murder yet, and I want to use the venue that we used for our poetry nights in Macclesfield, but I haven't even contacted them yet, and they're closing soon for Christmas, and then when am I going to contact them? I'm just allowing things to fall by the wayside too much, and this has never been who I am. I'm usually on it, organising things, and I will admit it and say that I am concerned about the fact that I haven't organised anything. I feel very lackadaisical about it and feel like I'm being too calm, but at the same time I'm also aware, well, no, that comes with being aware that the book is out at the start of 2020, and February isn't that far away in the grand scheme of things. But I am over here just twiddling my thumbs, not getting anything done, and it's really not the best way to work, and it's the reason that I am not having much success as an indie author, I think. I think that I'm not doing enough to publicise, and I didn't mind it earlier this year, but I'm beginning to mind my approach when it came to releasing Doris Ahoy, and I wanted to change that for An Heir to Murder, because An Heir to Murder deserves more. But either way, I am home now, so I'm going to go inside and I am going to make tea for people, and I hope that you have enjoyed the journey home with me, and until next time, that is all.